Senator, we just blew past not that long ago $20 trillion in the national debt. There are going to be folks in this town, ironically, a lot of Democrats all of a sudden, who are going to be talking about deficits. And conservatives are concerned about deficits. Are you guys willing to go really big on tax cuts, even if it's not deficit neutral?
Absolutely. And this is critical. If it's not deficit neutral, it's not a tax cut. Mm-hmm. And look, one of the things to remember, the way Washington scores tax cuts, they consistently underestimate the economic growth impact of tax cuts.
Like the dynamic scoring.
That's exactly right. One of the reasons I am such a passionate advocate for a big, serious tax cut is because I'm very worried about the deficit and debt. And the only way we're going to turn it around is economic growth. There is no way Congress is going to find the backbone to cut enough to get out of the debt. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen with Democrats. It's not even going to happen with most Republicans. The only way we get out of this hole that we've dug ourselves is getting out of the anemic Obama era 1% and 2% growth, getting back to robust 3%, 4%, 5% GDP growth. That generates so much revenue that's how you end up paying down the deficit. So you could go into this thinking, okay, it's not going to be revenue neutral because growth is going to happen. That's exactly right. And if we want to start paying down the debt, the only way to do it, since World War II, our economy's grown on average 3.3% a year. From 2008 to today, it's grown 1.2% a year. I mean, this is dismal. It's miserable. And I'll tell you, a lot of people in Washington are accepting this as the new normal. Now we grow 1% to 2% a year. Well, prior to Obama, the last 4-year period where you had economic growth less than 1% was 1978 to 1982. It was Jimmy Carter coming right out of the same failed economic policies. And what did Reagan do? In 81, he came in with a major tax cut, major regulatory reform. The economy took off. Guy, do you know what GDP growth was in 84?
I'm guessing
5%?
4 or 5%?
7.2.
Wow.
I mean, those are China-level numbers. 7.2. Nobody's even imagining that's possible. Well, Reagan produced it, and he did it because he wasn't timid. He wasn't scared of his own shadow. He knew the Democrats would demagogue him. On any tax cut, they're going to scream tax cuts for the rich. You know what? Under Ronald Reagan, working men and women, their wages went up. Under Ronald Reagan, African Americans saw significant increases in their annual income. Hispanics saw significant increases. If you want people to rise the economic ladder, you need the economy growing. You need small businesses going. A big tax cut's the way to do that.
Go bold.
Senator, what do you say? You use the word dismal to the dismal scientists out there, the economists who say that we can't get to 3% growth because the population is aging and because productivity growth is very low. What do you say to those people who say that the environment now isn't what it was in the 1980s when inflation was coming down and interest rates were coming down? Now interest rates are going up.
To quote a voice from the past, I think they are nattering nabobs of negativism. I think they don't know what they're talking about. Every voice in Washington who says, accept mediocrity, accept that we have to become, like much of Europe, stagnant state socialism, that is utter nonsense. This economy, we can unleash incredible growth, but the key to it is small businesses. It's not, Washington focuses so much on the big guys, on the major companies, on the lobbyists. That's who has stroke in this town. Yeah. I'll tell you who I care about. I care about the little guy, the small businesses, because 2/3 of all new jobs in the economy come from small businesses.
Right, which is why that 25% pass-through rate is real important. So you like that rate? Is that the rate to go with?
It's a step in the right direction. Yeah. I'm going to keep pushing for more, simpler, stronger, better. By the way, one very important piece to have as part of this tax reform debate. I think we should use tax reform as the opportunity also to repeal Dodd-Frank. Democrats will filibuster any attempt to do so, which means the only possibility of repealing Dodd-Frank is doing it on budget reconciliation at the same time.
Attach it.
Attach it to tax reform. And the reason that matters, as you know, Dodd-Frank has decimated the smaller banks, the community banks, the credit unions.
Well, that's why you got 1% growth.
And that's what provides capital to small businesses. Yeah. If you care about small businesses, you want capital, you want less regulations, less taxes, and getting rid of Dodd-Frank would help fuel. We would be having a very different conversation 1 year, 2 years from now if we're looking at 3%, 4%, 5% GDP
By the way,
growth.
the Dems want to attach an infrastructure plan to this. You know that. Real quick before you go, Senator, The health care.
Yeah.
You've been trying to get to a
Yes.
yes. Are you a yes?
I am a yes on repealing Obamacare.
Okay, I know that. Are you a yes on Graham Cassidy or not?
We're going to, right now, Graham Cassidy's been pulled. So I don't know what the vehicle is going to be, but we have to get this done. We have to honor our promise to repeal Obamacare, and I am spending every waking moment on Obamacare and tax reform trying to unite Republicans.
Senator Ted Cruz, that's why we love you. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.